All right, we are live. Tyler Reddick gets the win. Pretty exciting finish. Eric Jones with the valiant effort there at the end, but those older tires just weren't going to get the job done. Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson make a little bit of contact there again. Once again at Kansas. But at the end of the day, Tyler Reddick had by far the best restart. Denny Hamlin even said he was looking too far in his rear view mirror because Larson was lagging back, and that's what cost him the restart. So should have been looking out the front of his windshield is what he said there. So interesting race to say the least. But the playoff cutoff line gets extremely tight. Some surprises down there. Martin Truex Jr., probably one of the bigger stories of the day. He goes out on lap 2 or 3. He is now -7 below the cut line. Your regular season champion below the cut line at -7. Bubba Wallace next there with -19. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. -22 and Michael McDowell -40. Going into Bristol, this is the poll question: who has the best chance of making the playoffs at Bristol by having a good run or winning the race? In the case of probably Stenhouse, probably Bubba Wallace, and probably Michael McDowell. Looks like Truex Jr. can still probably get in on points, being only -7 right now. But even above the cut line, you can't feel safe, right? A bad race from Kevin Harvick at +7. He'll probably drop below it. Joey Logano is only +12. Christopher Bell is only +13. Chris Buescher also only +13. +18 for Ross Chastain as well. Then a little bit more comfortable, but still probably can't survive a terrible week. Can't wreck or anything like that. Kyle Busch +24, +25 for Ryan Blaney, +33 for Keselowski. Then I think you're pretty safe once you get to the Keselowski realm. So I think Keselowski, Byron, Hamlin are basically locked in. But Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, and Ross Chastain, technically, I guess a wreck could take them out of contention. So let's look at the finishing order. Who had a good race and who had a bad race? Of course, Martin Truex Jr. by far having the worst race. Good race for Tyler Reddick. He wins. Good race for Denny Hamlin. Didn't get exactly what he wanted. Led 63 laps, but didn't get the win. Eric Jones had a great race. He was up there in contention the entire time. He finishes third. Kyle Larson leads the most laps at 99, wins a stage, but unfortunately does not get the win. He finishes fourth. Joey Logano, he had the best day I think he could have. I don't know that the speed was fully there for him, but he made chicken salad and finished fifth. Chase Elliott finishing sixth. Great run for him. He had a really good car. If it hadn't been for that late caution, he probably would have had a third or second. Kyle Busch ends up finishing seventh. I think they made the most of their day. Had to start dead last because of that wreck in practice. Christopher Bell finishes eighth. Another Christopher Bell type day. We never talk about the guy, but he always finishes well. And if he ever puts it together, I could see him being a Kyle Larson type talent, a Chase Elliott type talent, a future young champion. Brad Keselowski finishes ninth. RFK continues to make strides, and Brad Keselowski's looking like the more consistent of the two drivers over there, although Chris Buescher has all the wins. Alex Bowman needed this 10th place finish. Then Kevin Harvick, Ryan Blaney, and Ross Chastain finishes 13th. All right, let's see what you guys want to talk about here in the chat. Great race for the 43, says Delmar Kaufman, for sure. Elliott and Larson. Elliott versus Larson. Yeah, that was pretty funny on pit road. Brad Keselowski squeezed him, and I guess Chase Elliott's spotter didn't tell him that. Eddie DeHunt, I don't know, maybe should have told him that Larson got squeezed there. Bristol is going to be good. A lot of drivers on the cut line, says OJ and Two-Face. Yeah, Bristol is going to be a great race. It's going to get super aggressive. Why does Bubba keep poking the bear, making his comments in the interviews? Reddick doesn't seem to have mental issues to me, says one wise guy. I don't know. I don't know if that's just sort of like a little friendly rivalry or if it's like an inside joke we don't know about. I don't know. But yeah, definitely had some weird comments about Tyler Reddick not understanding he was trying to help him there or something there. I didn't really get the context of what he was talking about. I'm gonna have to go back there and watch it again. Truex wins Earth 2, says OJ and Toothpaste. Yeah. Who had Martin Truex finishing dead last? Not me. I'll tell you that. I tell you what I did have though. I do believe I said on the pre-race that Tyler Reddick is going to win this race. And I do believe Tyler Reddick won this race. So I picked the winner. Always feels good when that happens. Let's see. What's up, Burger? What's up, In Between the Lanes? Good to have you on here. Joshua Jenkins, good to see you on here as well. 49ers did a whooping on the Steelers, says Toothpaste. OJ and Toothpaste, for sure. No doubt about that. I hate it for Truex Jr., says In Between the Lanes. Yeah, like, what could possibly go any worse for Martin Truex in this first round? Like, it's very reminiscent to me of last year when Kyle Busch kept blowing engines in the playoffs for JGR. He just seems to be the JGR driver that seems to be snake bit this year. So mad about Truex. Went from 6th to 13th in points. Playoff system sucks, says one wise guy. Yeah. So the difference between this and the playoffs, the old system in the playoffs, is Martin Truex could be completely out of contention for the title. Whereas you have 2 bad races in the old system, they're still going to gain a lot of points on you, and he still might be in 2nd or 3rd in that system, but he still would have a chance to win the title, right, with those 2 bad races. In this playoff system, if he gets cut, if he falls below the cut line, he is completely out of it. He is not going to have a chance to make the playoffs. So your regular season champion could be out of the playoffs altogether in round 1. So just another massive difference between the 2 systems. And obviously, you know where I stand on which system I like better. So no need to get into that. I'll do my triannual complaining about the point system in another video. Happy to see the 23 blow a tire. Tired of him, says OJ and Toothpaste. In between the lanes, he's polarizing. You either like him or you don't. Ty Dillon was 3rd in stage 1 during pit stops. Yeah, I did see that. I was like, what is going on? Then I realized he hadn't pitted yet, and I was like, oh, okay, that explains the madness. Where did Sheldon Creed end up finishing? Sheldon Creed in the 78 ends up 29th. So he did finish. He finished below Ty Dillon in 28th. So they they're right there running with each other. 28th and 29th for Ty Dillon and Sheldon Creed in the 8th tier junk that was laying on the floor, RCR, I guess, assistance cars. Let's see. Denny's best finish in the Yahoo Toyota Camry TRD, says in between the lanes. There you go. His best finish in the purple car. He finishes 2nd. Happy to see the 23. Oh, I just read that one. Whoops. Hey, BB, considering how much better Hamlin was compared to the rest of the Gibbs cars, do you think he got his setup from 23 XI, says Bruce Garvey? I would lean toward that, no doubt about it. It's hard to say, though, because Martin Truex Jr. cut that tire early. We don't know what he would have had for them had the race gone on. So it's hard to say. And Christopher Bell hit the wall as well. So it's hard to say. I tell you what I would have loved to see if Kyle Larson hadn't lost all that track position. I did want to see who had the actual faster car between him and Denny Hamlin, because they looked like they were pretty close. Much needed top 10 for Rowdy in between. Kyle Busch needed this after last weekend for sure. Not making much of the Larson Elliott tussle. They don't like each other though. I don't know that they don't like each other so much as they're just competitive right now. They know that they're the best, in their minds at least, the best 2 drivers there. I think William Byron might have something to say about that this year, and Alex Bowman's having a bad year, but he's a pretty good driver too. But I think in their minds, they're fighting for top dog at Hendrick. So even when they're not racing for the win, they're racing against each other. I think it's not necessarily a hatred so much as it's a super competitive rivalry. And Chase Elliott, in case you missed it, did have words to say to Larson after the race about that contact on pit road. Of course, Larson didn't have any room. I think when he goes back and looks at the replay, he's going to realize that. Whether or not he cares, I don't think he'll probably care either. I think he just wanted to holler at Larson, like I said, because it's just a competitive thing to be top dog there. It's very reminiscent of F1 as far as that goes. I like Christopher Bell's DeWalt scheme, says in between the lanes. I liked it, but he had trash bags on the front of the car. I don't mind them. I don't mind them promoting trash bags, but I don't know. As a race car driver, I wouldn't want a trash bag on my car. That just makes too easy for the memes. Like if somebody ever wanted to call him trash, that's 100% the picture of that car they're going to use. Calling it now, Chase wins Bristol, says Tacona 2. He could. He had a good chance to win this one if things had shaken out a little bit of a different way. Truex will rebound. How about that Jones boy? Man, Eric Jones put on a show today. He's put on a show the last few weeks in basically a car that has no factory support. This team is going to be a factor next year with support from Toyota. If the support they're supposed to get have been impressive the last month. Yeah, if they get support like I'm thinking they're going to get from Toyota next year, I think Eric Jones is going to be a multiple-time winner next season. I'm calling that right now. Robin Marks, howdy from Kazakhstan. I did remember you said Reddick, Kansas is bad luck for playoff guys, and Truex proves that. Yeah, that's true. I think there was like 6 or 7 playoff guys that had some issues today. Toyota's going to give Chevy and Ford issues next season. I agree. They're going to have a lot more talent in the wheelhouse there. What a great day. Bubba Up in Smoke, says Mark Barnum. So Mark Barnum, not a Bubba Wallace fan either. Just glad Denny didn't win, says Thomas Haywood. There's a few people that were making some comments like that. So Denny does not have a ton of fans, or at least has a ton of people that don't like him. We should say that. 3 wins for the 45 at Kansas in the last 4 or 5 races. Yeah, and that's what Reddick said in Victory Lane. He said, I broke the streak earlier this year, so I had to make up for it. How about Joey Logano? Almost seen Suarez win, as I suggested, says Jamie Spicer. Yeah, so shout out to Suarez for trying something different there. Travis Mack going for it. I like it. Kevin Harvick with the Sunny D scheme says in between the lanes. Yeah, that Sunny D scheme was pretty slick. I'll give him that. And Harvick ran pretty good today, too. Chase should watch the video and then apologize to Larson. That he's probably not going to apologize. I'll tell you that. But he'll probably realize he doesn't owe him one. So at least there will be that. 29 says in between the lanes. I think if Truex pulls a rabbit out of his hat next week, he could. Packers spank the Bears and send them back to their bear cave. Says Mark Barnum. I will say it for you, BB. Playoffs suck. I mean, pretty much everybody knows that's where I stand, but I don't want to jump into that just yet. I usually wait till the end of the season to do that. If it wasn't for the 22 side drafting and running Jones up in the corner, I think the 43 had a legit shot to win. I know Joey was also trying to win, but he potentially ruined a great underdog story. So, yeah, that's the problem with 1 and 2, because when 1 and 2 start racing each other, it gives the third person in line sometimes a really big run. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it was the spotter didn't tell Joey that he had one coming low and he should have blocked him too, but Joey Logano was not concerned with the 45 to him and the 43's detriment. But either way, I think they got the best finish they could have got, both of those drivers, unless Eric Jones got a clean restart. But as soon as Tyler Reddick got clean air, I was like, that's it. That's the race. If no caution late, Hamlin would have won. He had the best overall car, says Joshua Jenkins. I don't know about that. I would like to see what he could do with the 5 car. I think him and the 5 car had the two bestest cars. Had the two best cars. I don't know which one was actually better, though. Hey, BB, how you doing? What's up, Chrome Diesel? Josephus got a top 20. Yeah, Carson Hocevar wheeled that thing to another good finish. So Carson Hocevar, old Josephus there, he might just skip the Xfinity Series. Somebody just put him in a car now. How about that? You don't even need a good car. You just need one that'll hold up. Bubba is so much better than Austin Dillon, says Thomas Haywood. He is this year for sure. There's no doubt about that. Sheldon Creed was in the top 10 as well due to pit strategy. Says in between the lanes. Yeah, Sheldon Creed. Where was he? Was running up there for a while too. So yeah, that was I can't remember. I think that was part of stage 3, or maybe it was the end of stage 2. But yeah, he was up there for a while at one point because I was looking at it at 78 and I was like, man, he's up there. What happened? I didn't know if he had took 2 tires or what was going on with that. I like Truex, but maybe he needs to miss the next round to send a message to NASCAR. I mean, I hope not. I don't think NASCAR, even if you send a message to NASCAR, I don't think they're going to care because they do it for TV money and stuff like that. Bubba Wallace does not need to do any more interviews, says Joe Sample. Do you think Truex had to wait till the race car was over to leave, or can drivers leave when they crash? I think the drivers can leave when they crash. You don't have to give an interview, so I think you're good to go. Interview is always optional. If the 43 could have cleared the 22, he had a shot to win. That would have been awesome. Go 43. Yeah. Yep. Unfortunately, he just didn't have enough. He just didn't have quite enough to get by the 22. 22 is always hard to race when he feels like it. Eric Jones maybe had the performance of the day, without a doubt. Tyler Reddick won the race, but Eric Jones won the hearts of many a fan there that was watching the race and many a fan on TV. I like that Jones boy scheme. I said in between the lanes, it was a pretty good looking car. Staying out on 32-lap tires is a death sentence, says Chrome Diesel. Yeah, but it was the only play they had in the playbook. So I like the at least they were going for it because think about it like this. If the car is behind the 43 and got to racing each other, the 43 would have had clean air and he could have stole it. So you just never know, because you saw with Chase Elliott when he stayed out there on older tires, he was able to hold him off for at least 12 or 13, at least 20 laps there. Chase Elliott to the Braves, says in between the lanes. I think Chase Elliott would actually not be mad about that if he got to play for the Braves. BB, do you have a TikTok channel? I do not have a TikTok. Do you dance and sing? I do not dance and sing. I don't do the TikToks. That's not for my generation. Well, I'm not going to say that. To me, that's not for my generation. For what I do. How many different sponsors has Kyle Busch had on his car so far? JGR couldn't find any. Okay, says like this. Like yeah, that's pretty. I pretty much agree with that. I always thought that was a bunch of crap when they said they can't find a sponsor for Kyle Busch. I thought they were trying to find one big sponsor and they didn't have a backup plan. And then when the one big sponsor fell through, they were just like, whatever, we're done with it. So unless they were making money off of Kyle Busch, I feel like they didn't want to deal with the headache because they just wanted to get younger, and they decided that getting rid of Kyle Busch was their best option to get younger. Seahawks lost, says one wise guy. I mean, as a 49ers fan, I'm not going to pretend to be sad, but I hate it for you because I know you are a Seahawks fan. Ryan Newman wins next week on Earth 2, says Jamie Swart. So he might. He might. Hey, BB, do you make what do you make of the pit strategies on the last pit stop? Who made the best call? Which team fell the most? Without a doubt, Suarez probably fell furthest back. I mean, you would have to say the best call is to go with tires there, 4 tires. So I don't know. You have to give the best call of the race to the 45 because he won the race. But I don't necessarily hate what Joey Logano and Kyle Busch did taking 2 tires because they probably got better finishes than what they could have otherwise. So I think there's a mix of good calls. But those, just off the top of my head, those were definitely the guys that had the best calls there. Not so fast, my friend. Bologna Burger says in between the lanes. Another good run for Hocevar in the 42. Yeah, he lived up to the nickname that I've given him, Josephus, getting wild and rowdy every weekend when he's in the car. So he gave that thing all he had, and that's one of the better finishes he's had, in my opinion, the 2 best finishes with that car this season as far as actually looking good on the racetrack. Now, they might have finished further ahead in some other races, but the car has looked the best with him driving it. So I think even though it's just a 2-race sample with him, I think I've seen enough to say he probably deserves to be in the Cup Series as long as you can build him a car that'll hold together. Because he was even running that 77 Spire car pretty good before the brakes gave out on him earlier this year. It's just a matter of time until Bad Brad wins. He's so close, says one wise guy. Yeah, he's doing everything but winning. So eventually he will break through as long as they keep the momentum they've got at RFK. And like I said, at RFK, I've got one of those drivers making the Elite 8 at least. And I could see just the way they've gotten hot at the right time, at least one of their drivers making the Final Four. I like Chastain's Kubota scheme. Ben Rhodes also is sponsored by Kubota Tractors. Yeah, without a doubt. So Mahindra is on the 14. So I would like to see a day where Stewart Haas Racing can get sort of back on their game so you can see the Mahindra car competing with the Kubota car. I think that would be like another good battle to have out there. And I think at one time there was another – was it Skag? I think Skag was they make power equipment too. So I think Skag was out there at one point too. What was Bubba talking about in his post races, X-Dude? I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what he was talking about myself. I have no clue what he was talking about. So I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that clip and then try to figure out exactly what he's talking about, because it was just a weird interview. I don't know the context behind it. So I'm gonna have to go and do some research on it. I have no clue what he was talking about, other than he was trying to help Tyler Reddick and Tyler Reddick didn't see it that way or something. I don't know. It was super weird. JGR Toyota going too far on setups and blowing tires again, I see, says Cody. I mean, everybody. Martin Truex Jr. actually ran over some debris. I don't know if you saw the picture from the crew chief on Twitter, but Martin Truex Jr. actually ran over debris. So that's what cut his tire down. Now, the other tires, that's up for debate. Who's your favorite NFL player of all time and currently? Probably Joe Montana is my favorite player of all time. Jerry Rice is a close second. So flip a coin on those two. And my favorite current player, I like Deebo Samuel. I like Deebo Samuel. He's pretty fun to watch. So that's probably my current favorite guy to watch. What Cup cars are still open? And I know that's San Francisco centric, but that's the team I'm pulled for. What Cup cars are still open for next season? If you want me to go outside the San Francisco box, I would say Marshawn Lynch, because even when he was playing with the Bills, Marshawn Lynch was a really fun guy to watch. He was never the fastest. He just ran over you. So he was pretty fun to watch. What Cup cars are still open for next season? Right now, I think the 10 car is the one that's open. We don't know about the 31, but they said they're going to announce hopefully by Bristol. So the 31, the 10, possibly the 77. There's been some question marks about the 77, and that's just off the top of my head. So I think only 3 options right now. I think I could see Zane Smith most likely going to the 10 car if he's going Cup racing. And I think Zane Smith has already made his plans for next season, because I think that's why the Harrison Burton deal basically got done at the time frame it did. Zane Smith, the 78 car next year, says OJ and Toothpaste. I don't know about that. Poll suggestion: who will be the biggest surprise at the end of this playoff round? Yeah, that's but I would have to pick options there. It's hard to pick. I've only got 4 options. I need one with 16 options. What kind of car are you working on? Says Thomas Haywood. I'm working on a Nissan right now, and I'm going to go buy that Fiat at some point. when somebody gets less proud of the one that they own, because I don't want to pull up on them and be like, dude, you own a Fiat. Let's come off the price a little bit, but it's getting to that point. Bologna Burger to the number 31 colleague Chevrolet Camaro says in between the lanes. Yeah, with everybody saying that they've got a they've got a chance, because I think Hemrick said he's got a chance to drive in it. So I might as well, like, everybody's got a chance to drive it next year at this point. I feel like, please someone mention how big of a blank Larson is for taking that monster block from Hamlin on the final lap. Says Ben Reddick. Yeah, he should have just wrecked him, in my opinion. Like you talked about, how to race him from here on out. Then he blocked you again. But to be fair, Denny Hamlin, he's living rent free in Denny Hamlin's head too, because Denny Hamlin dropped all the way back because he was so concerned about what Kyle Larson's doing that he blew his restart. Like, he had like 5 car lengths or something on the restart. So they're both living basically rent free in each other's head. Caterpillar was a Cup sponsor too. BB says Jamie sponsor. Yeah, but not recent. I was talking about recently, like within Kubota and Mahindra coming into Cup. Caterpillar hasn't been there since then. I think Caterpillar bowed out with Mr. Reddick. In fact, I know they did, because I couldn't decide which hat to wear. I was like, can I wear the old Reddick hat, or can I wear the old Monster hat from Kurt Busch? I didn't know. I had to make a choice, so I went Monster. I don't have any money line gear. Petty is living rent free in Bubba's head. That's pretty funny. It's him and Denny Hamlin, like, just they live to be petty, man. They live to be petty. So if you annoy them, they might take it to their grave. Barry Sanders says, X-Dude, Barry Sanders was his favorite player to watch in the NFL. Beast Mode says, One Wise Guy. Yeah, he was super fun. The greatest run he ever had as far as a highlight go was actually when he was with the Buffalo Bills, and I think it was a playoff game against the Saints. No, it wasn't a playoff game. Anyway, they were playing against the Saints, and he just like trucks a dude for like 10 yards. He just like holds him and runs with him. That's one of the better highlights of all time. Hi, what's the McDriver? Voted for that. Says Shaw. That's what Michael McDowell calls himself on Twitter. Instead of Michael McDowell, he's McDriver. Do you think First Take or Undisputed will talk about the Kansas race tomorrow morning? Says OJ and Toothpaste. I doubt it. NFL is in full swing, so I doubt we get a mention on one of those shows. Skag Power Equipment is in NHRA sponsoring Tim Wilkerson and Tony Schumacher, John Hunter Nemechek, and Eric Jones had Skag Power Equipment sponsorship in NASCAR. Eric Jones is the one I remember from the Petty deal. I didn't remember the John Hunter Nemechek one, but I think you're right. I think that was in the truck series with KVM, but I could be wrong about that. One Wise Guy saying do the merch. So let me drop the merch here before I forget. All right, there we go. John Deere sponsored Roush for a while too. Says X-Dude, yeah, the old 97 of Chad Little. That was a good looking car. I think maybe Johnny Benson might have drove it for a while too, but I definitely remember Chad Little. Frankie Munoz in the number 10 Stewart Haas Racing Ford. I think he's going. He said in a post that he's going either Xfinity or trucks. So he's not making that. He's not making the big jump. Sonic or Whataburger, what's better? OJ and Toothpaste. If you're from Texas, you'll say Whataburger's better. But also, if you're from anywhere else and you've tasted Sonic, you'll say Whataburger's better. Even if you've never been to a Whataburger, you'll probably go with the odds and say Whataburger's better. So I'm going to go Whataburger there. Any old Winston Cup gear? Says One Wise Guy. I've got like an old Winston Cup patch from back in the day. The Winston Cup Pit Crew Challenge. I've got a little bit of it, not like a ton. Kansas consistently puts on a decent show, says X-Dude. I remember the old jackets actually used to have Winston Cup on them back in the day. Oh, well, I misvoted then. McDriver is screwed, says Shaw. So let's take a look at the poll question. Right now, Martin Truex Jr. at 75%. A little bit more faith in Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and McDriver. Bubba Wallace at 5%. So 40 votes in so far. If we can get to 50 votes, I will switch it up and do another poll question. Rain in for the Cowgirls in the Giants game, says Mark Barnum. Good, because I need for my fantasy team. I need Daniel. Used to play at Duke. Can't call his last name right now. I need Daniel Jones to have a bad game. I don't care who wins. I just need Daniel Jones to have a bad game. I missed the final because Lamar Jackson didn't help me out, even though his team blew the other team out. Lamar Jackson didn't put up Lamar Jackson numbers. I missed the final 1/3 of the race. What happened? Undisputed. Would bother to acknowledge NASCAR. Last 1/3 of the race, basically, there were a few random cautions, and then we had a caution there at the very end, and there was a pit strategy, and Tyler Reddick somehow won from like 4th or 5th place because Denny Hamlin thought Denny Hamlin thought it was more important to drop back and block Kyle Larson and give 5 car lengths to the car in front of him. If Denny Hamlin doesn't do that, he's probably right there with Tyler Reddick fighting for the win at the end. But just a glaring mistake from Denny Hamlin, paying attention to his rearview mirror on a restart instead of looking out the front of his window. I don't know. I don't get it. Those two have some type of rivalry going on, and it just costs both of them a race. Basically, just long story short. I was thinking Hamburglar, and I'm hungry. Says that might be why you were thinking Hamburglar. Do you think Brad Daugherty is a good analyst? Can you see him replacing Mike Joy? I think Brad Daugherty's a great analyst, whether it's college basketball or NASCAR. So he's actually good at whatever he does. He naturally has filled that role. It suits him for whatever reason. What car will Chevy choose to replace the Camaro in the Cup Series, the Corvette, the Chevette, the Nova, or the Vega? They've already said they're going to keep making the Camaro. They're just going to use the Camaro body on the next version that they're making, which is going to be all electric. And oh no, he said all electric. So let's not let the chat fall to crap because I said electric. They're just going to take the Camaro body of the electric Camaro and put it on the Cup car. That's pretty much what's going to happen, no matter what the Cup car is running. Never fear. Keith Risk is here. What's up, Keith Risk? McDriver needs a severe intervention from God at this point. He gave somebody a severe intervention from Michael McDowell for blocking him earlier in the race. Any word on Grant's plans for next year? Not sure. Reddick is going. Low was the stellar move, says Shy. Yeah, he definitely picked the right line for sure. Was there any changes to the next gen car after the 41 wreck? I never heard anything. I don't think they've changed anything yet. They're looking at a way to keep the roof hatch closed when it's flipping, but other than that, I don't think they're looking at too much there. But Christopher Bell said that NASCAR has been in constant conversation with the drivers about the issue, and he said most popular driver mentality get into his head. Not Larson's fault, says Jay Campbell. Yeah, I mean, I agree. My Lions won a primetime game on the road against a good team. It's officially freezing over in hell, says X-Dude. Yeah, like nobody had the Lions winning that game, not hardly. And the people that did have it, congratulations on your winnings. Tyler Reddick had a good money line scheme. Yeah, the money line schemes have all been pretty fire from what I've seen. I'm tired of seeing Yoda sweep Kansas 2 years in a row. Every once in a while, a car manufacturer just gets to a track that it likes. For the last 20 years, Ford has been really good at Michigan. So, I mean, sometimes it's just the way it works out. I think Mike Bagley should replace Mike Joy when Mike Joy retires. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do over there at Fox, to be honest. Let's go Toyota, says one wise guy. So he's a Toyota man. Brad D should replace Rick Allen. Rick is just awful. There are definitely a lot of people that dislike Rick Allen. There's no doubt about it. I'm with you, like dislike Bagley or Moody. I would take Mike Bagley in that particular situation because Dave Moody is just at some point going to blow a gasket and start arguing with fans. His interaction with fans on his radio show, sometimes he can just be a dick. I'm just going to say it. And that's just the way it is. Lose the roof hatch, weld it up, says Shy. I mean, that might be an option. Like I said, I don't know 100% why they've still got the roof hatch, unless it's for when the car gets pinned in like this, the driver can come out the top. Earth 2, Ty Gibbs wins MPD for 2024. Roof should be solid, says Shy. Which Cup car had Yoda on the hood? There was a Kevin Harvick scheme, but somebody else ran one too. It was either Kevin Harvick or maybe Robbie Gordon or Steve Park. I can't call it off the top of my head. You were right, says Jen Allison. I appreciate it. You want to go through the roof? You just chop off the roof with hydraulic tools. So yeah, we should. I'm just joking, but yeah, just keep the old jaws of life inside the car and whip it out when you need to get out through the roof. X-Dude says Moody sucks. I'm not going to say he sucks, but sometimes he can be really crappy with the fans that call into a show. They have never used the roof hatch for escape, says Shy. Yeah, I think Michael Waltrip's the only one that used it. He used it for celebration. I missed the race. Was Harvick's luck better today? Harvick had a good run today, Bruce, for sure. We salvaged the top 10, says Jen Allison. Yeah, Kyle Busch definitely had the the best one of the better strategies at the end. I think they maximize what they got on the day. Kurt Busch is good in the booth during Fox's broadcast, as well as the Truck Series is in between the lanes. So yeah, I could see a Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, and then whoever else they want to put in their booth going forward. Moody definitely doesn't have patience when someone calls in with a half-baked theory with no supporting evidence, as Kyle said. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would take one of those times for him to do that in the booth, and he would be gone. So I just don't think Moody is ready for TV prime time. X-Dude says he sucks again. Harvick's Gravedigger scheme was the best of all time. That's definitely one of my favorites. Probably Kevin Harvick's Gravedigger scheme, or it was just a regular scheme, but Kyle Petty's Mellow Yellow scheme, or this is the poll question right here. Let me see where we're at with the poll question. Can I change it yet? Nope. Need 6 more votes. But yeah, Kevin Harvick's Gravedigger, William Byron's City Chevrolet, or Kyle Petty, Kyle Larson, whoever, Mellow Yellow car, and Davey Allison, number 28, Texaco Haviland. I'm leaving all the 7-time champions out of it because if I put Dale Earnhardt on there, everybody's going to vote for Dale Earnhardt. Same with Richard Petty. Well, I don't know. Jimmy Johnson didn't have a ton of great ones, in my opinion, relative to these other guys. But yeah. So let's see here. Now use the roof. Never use the roof. Speak your words in English. Have you ever met Kyle Larson? I've not met Kyle Larson. OJ and toothpaste. Let's see. Oh my God, the emergency team uses tools. Laughing my butt off, says Shaw. Now use the roof hatch. Never used the roof hatch before. My brain just couldn't comprehend that. It was Kevin Harvick in the Sunny D car. Yeah, it definitely. And not only that, but Ricky Stenhouse Jr., because that's who I associate the Sunny D car with. He was actually in the most coherent paint scheme I've seen him in quite some time. The NOS Energy, that was a really good look into that. Is Josephus running Bristol? Josephus is running Bristol in the 42 car, and he said he thinks that's going to be his last race with him, so they'll probably be bringing somebody else in after that. Rams win, NFL, says Jeffrey. So there you go. The Rams have won. That will make Darian very happy. I think he's a Rams fan. Josephus, I like that. Yeah, like he likes to get rowdy with his rowdy friends. That's the kind of guy he reminds me of. Have you ever ate at Casey's Kyle Busch sponsor? I have not ate at Casey's. I didn't even know what it was until today, so I'll have to check out their pizza. Although I was watching a road trip show on YouTube one time, and the guy was talking about, I stopped at this place, and they're supposed to have the best pizza of all time. So I'm pretty sure it's clicking in my head now that he stopped at a Casey's and got a slice of pizza. It's a convenience store, but they have pizza, and I guess they're really famous for their pizza. Josephus going straight to cup, says X-Dude. He needs to, because I feel like the talent's there. Who do you like next week in Bristol? That is a good question. Kyle Larson's got the best numbers since 2020. So let me pull up the Bristol averages. Kyle Larson, average finish of 3.0 since 2020. Clint Boyer is next on that list with an average finish of 4.0. Kevin Harvick is next on the list with 6.0. Here's one for you. AJ Allmendinger is next. And hey, we were just talking about him today, but Eric Jones with an average finish of 9.3, Ross Chastain, Jimmy Johnson, Ryan Preece, William Byron, Brad Keselowski, Chase Briscoe, Kurt Busch, and Chris Buescher. So a lot of guys on that list that aren't even racing right now. But the previous winners, of course, are Chris Buescher, Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, and Kyle Larson. So if you're a team RFK, or even if you're team Ford, your three of your previous 4 winners have all been Fords. So there you go. Let's see. Let's go to laps led. Brad Keselowski with the most laps led at 259 for Kyle Busch. Chase Elliott 240 and 209 for Larson. So yeah, Kyle Busch definitely good there as well, but hasn't had the finishes since 2020. But we know he's good there. Scott Dixon won an IndyCar. Thank goodness. Unfortunately, he didn't win the championship, but his teammate did. So at least he gets the last win. Cale Yarborough's Hardy's Cup car was cool. Yeah, for sure. They were both good, but I'll be honest with you, as far as Hardy's cars and Cup, I always thought Ward Burton's looked the best. But that's just me. Cale Yarborough's is definitely iconic, though. There's no doubt about that. Cale Yarborough's is more iconic because he was, I don't know, like a bigger champion. He was like the biggest dude of his era for a little while. I cannot believe I'm a Host Far fan now. A year ago, I would have punched me, says Shaw. He grew up a lot, though. Like, got to give credit where credit's due. Go Saints, says Keith. So there you go. Got a Saints fan. My friend's a Saints fan. She's a real big Saints fan. I'm really liking Hosevar. Becoming a fan of his, says Joshua Jenkins, is NFL rigged and scripted. Says OJ and Toothpaste. Everything's rigged and scripted if you stay on the internet long enough. Rusty Wallace's MGD Midnight Car was awesome. Yeah, the old black Miller Genuine draft car was definitely good. Josephus, down with it. I can get down with that. Says one wise guy. Kyle Busch, fastest chicken in the South. That was Joey actually ran the fastest chicken in the South. But yeah, for sure. Fastest chicken in the South is definitely another banger up there. I was going back and forth between NASCAR, NFL, IndyCar. First, I saw the pace car out of gas, and this happened during the IndyCar race. Most all towns in Iowa and Nebraska have a Casey, so it's a Midwest deal. Rolling on the floor laughing at like dislike. Seventh today. Yay, says Jenna Allison, talking about Kyle Busch. Is Hunt Brothers Pizza good? In my opinion, no. I've had much better. I've had a few that are worse, but Hunt Brothers Pizza, it's like Taco Bell. Like, a lot of people eat it, but nobody's ever like, man, I want to go get me a Hunt Brothers Pizza. So that's sort of where Hunt Brothers Pizza falls. If that's the case about Kansas being Toyota's playground, then Kansas is automatically added to my dislike track list. That's some Rowdy Chicken, says Shy. It's Bristol, baby. Hopefully the short track package has gotten better. Oh, yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. I hope, by God, please let the short track package be better at Bristol. Is there a bad pizza, says Shy? Depends on who you ask. Some people don't like it with pineapple on it. It's hard to wreck pizza, says Shy. You got to try to make pizza bad. I love Ward Burton, says Jen Allison. Who doesn't love Ward Burton? He's the man. Shy, Red Baron is not good pizza. I don't know. They had a really sick Ken Schrader paint scheme back in the day. That number 94 Thunderbird, that was a good-looking car. I guess technically Benny Parsons probably had it first with the 55 or something, but I remember it from Ken Schrader. With the gold numbers, it was a good-looking car. I just ate Whataburger for the first time last week. Loved it. They need to sponsor NASCAR. Little Caesars pizza. Oh, God. Little Caesars, by far. I hate Little Caesars. Old Little Caesars used to be good. New Little Caesars, not my favorite. Little E in the Wrangler number 3 tribute. The crust tastes like cardboard with the cheapest cheese they can find and way too much sauce. There's no bad pizza as long as you leave off the pineapple, says Joshua Jenkins. So there you go, anti-pineapple. Even bad pizza I can tolerate, unlike other foods. I'd like to see the Charlotte Hornets sponsor a cup car. Not likely since Jordan sold most of his ownership. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that in the pipeline anytime soon. We need an ice cream or a gelato sponsor that does buy one, get one quarts for every driver in the top 10. There was ice cream back in the day with Kaz Gralla. He had ice cream. That was the spicy ice cream. Little Caesars, not good for sure, but tolerable, says Shaw. I never heard of Red Baron Pizza. It's a frozen pizza. It's not even a chain. It's just a frozen pizza. You can get them at Kroger and Food Line. I think I've seen them at Harris Teeter. Not sure if Publix carries them, but I'm sure they do. It's a fairly big chain. Let's see. Hunt Brothers must be good. I've never had it, but they throw lots of money at the number 4 car. It's convenience store pizza. So if you go to a convenience store in the South, you usually see Hunt Brothers. You go to, like, the Sadlers have a ton of convenience stores in Emporia and the areas around. You see a bunch of Hunt Brothers stuff there. That's why you always saw at least 1 or 2 Hunt Brothers schemes on Elliott Sadler's car back in the day. It must be a USA thing, says Shaw. Oh, yeah. So Red Baron Pizza, I guess, is a USA title. Let's see. Hi, Little Caesars, when you can get 2 pizzas wrapped in paper, says Bruce Reed. Pizza and adult relations, even when they're bad, they're better than none, says Say Kyle. I don't know. At least I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. You're trying to make me go down the path of the devil, and it's on a Sunday. I'm not gonna say it. At least the pizza doesn't talk when it wakes up. Anyway, is like sex when bad, it is still pretty good, says Brian. W. Domino's Rules, says Keith Risk. Celeste Pizza is awful. OJ and Toothpaste. Pat Murphy's take and bake is the best, says Mark Barnum. Great minds, say Kyle, LOL. Papa John's is actually pretty good, so I don't know. Big Shaquille O'Neal push from Papa John's. Publix carries Red Baron Pizza. Oh God, frozen pizza is just wrong. Got to add your own toppings. Oh, frozen pizza. If you're not adding your own cheese to it, you're missing an opportunity. Add your own cheese. Add your own pepperoni. It makes frozen pizza a lot better. I've been waiting on Domino's Pizza to come in and do some sponsorship in Cup. Didn't Little Caesars sponsor Cup Car? They used to sponsor Chase Elliott. They at one time were owned by Mountain Dew. I don't know if they still are, but back when Mountain Dew was sponsoring Chase Elliott, I think Mountain Dew owns a good chunk of Little Caesars. How come some tracks work well for certain manufacturers, just like we saw today with Kansas and Toyota winning the race? That's a good question. You never know, because for whatever reason, Michigan and Ford they go hand in hand as well. Papa Murphy's is the bomb. Says Jen Allison. I have to check out Papa Murphy's. I'm not familiar with that one. Sam's Club, Costco Pizza will tear you up. Old Sam's Club, they got the $1 hot dog meal or whatever, $2 hot dog meal. And of course the pizza by the slice, or you can get a whole one and take it home with you. LOL, Brian W. Perry Earl, Red Baron used to sponsor local sprint cars in West Texas. So there you go. All right, we're at 49 votes. One more vote, and I will start another poll. You know what? I'm not going to be that guy. I'm just going to end this poll now, and I'll start another one. Let's see here. Start a poll. Now, let's see. What was it? I forgot what I was talking about now. What were the other options I was talking about with the paint schemes? Somebody said Cale Yarborough, Hardy's car. I know I said Red Baron. Man, I'm stuck. Oh, what was I talking about back then? Now I got to scroll back up here and look at it. I waited too long to make the poll. I lost everything I was thinking about. Yeah, Yarborough with Hardy's. Spelled Kale's name wrong because I can't spell. Let's see here. I feel like Davey Allison's going to win this one. I feel like not enough people are going to remember. I can't. You know what? I'm gonna change that out for Rusty Wallace. There we go. There's the hodgepodge of randoms that I thought were the best. William Byron, that's the one I forgot. I should have took Ken Schrader out and put William Byron City Chevrolet in there. That's the one I was thinking about. Gravedigger. Oh, you know what? Yep, I remember what I was going to do now. Sorry, I'm ending this poll. Here we go. This is riveting content as old man tries to remember what he was writing on the poll question. There we go. Gravedigger's in there. All right, there we go. Poll question is up. Which car had the best paint scheme? And there are your options. Homemade pizza in a Traeger comes out really good. No doubt about it. Homemade pizza is always good. Sam's Club pizza is good and cheap, says OJ and Toothpaste. Poll question, worst pizza. There you go. You give me some options for worst pizza, and I'll throw that one up here in just a minute after this poll gets finished going here. Let's see. If we can get to 40 votes on this one, I'll do the next poll on who makes the worst pizza. Harley Davidson would be a great sponsor for a Cup car. I'm trying to remember. I know they had the Ford F-150 deal. I'm trying to remember if they did a cup car. I can't remember one. My favorite pizza is Boston Pizza chain restaurant. Is it in the USA? I don't remember Boston Pizza. I remember Boston Market. I don't think we've got that one. Do not order a steak from a pizza restaurant. Learn that the hard way. That's good advice to live by, Shaw. That should be on a bumper sticker or a T-shirt. Never order steak at a pizza restaurant. That's words to live by. No doubt about that. Let's see. Do you think NASCAR will go to Montreal next year? I think it's a good chance. I never heard of it, says one wise guy. Talking about Boston Pizza. Davey Allison's 28, says Perriero. Yeah, I don't want to put the Allison 28 in there because I feel like that one will win regardless. Kalewood Holly Farms. Kalewood Holly Farms is good. My favorite Cale Yarborough scheme was the Busch Light Car, the blue and the gold. Gravedigger, number 1. Right now, Mellow Yellow Petty is winning 40% right now. I am so hungry now, says Shy. Yeah, you're talking about pizza. You're going to get some people pretty hungry here. Gravedigger scheme. Kyle Busch M&M scheme. Kyle Busch M&M scheme is definitely top tier all time. Do any Southerners know about White Castle hamburgers? I know about White Castle hamburgers. You can actually get them in the supermarket, but I know it's the actual restaurant. We went to one in Ohio on the way to Indiana one time. We have one in the South called Crystals. It's very similar to White Castle. They're little tiny square crappy cheeseburgers that are good for late night runs or whatever you want to call them. I wish NASCAR would do one race going clockwise. Tracks really only need to change emergency access points, says Cody. That would be pretty. I don't know why they haven't ever tried that. I don't know. I guess because you would have to change so many components for just one race. BB, you redeemed yourself. LOL, says Shaw. Sliders, T-Van. White Castle will murder a toilet. The same thing with Crystals. White Castle, no matter what form you get it in, White Castle uses too many onions, says one wise guy. I will agree with that as well. The onion is potent on the old White Castle little slider burgers. 100% Gravedigger prediction. Yes, Barnum, says T-Van. Great value from Walmart. Domino's before the change. Yeah, Domino's used to make pretty good pizza. Back when like the original Ninja Turtles movie came out, the live action Jim Henson animatronic face Ninja Turtles, that era of Domino's was actually really good. Harley Davidson outsourced made, says Shop. Maybe you ever prank called anyone? I used to prank call the local racing. We had a local access cable race TV show. We used to prank call all the time. I love Papa John's pizza. Papa John's is pretty good. The garlic dipping sauce is probably what makes Papa John's. Gives them a little edge, go over the top there. Bugatti kicks Harley's ass. I prank called people for years. We used to have a party line. I used to listen in on calls and do pranks. My favorite paint scheme was no matter who drives is the Interstate Batteries green lightning bolt car. Pontiac preferred. Bobby Labonte. I like that one. My favorite one of all time, though, was when Dale Jarrett first came out with his car. I thought, because it was just the first time you'd ever seen it, that thing really popped and looked good. Which, I mean, Bobby Labonte drove basically that paint scheme for at least one season as well. Have you ever heard of Culver's? I have heard of Culver's. Not before this season, though. Jerky Boys. Yeah, the Jerky Boys actually had a TV show and a movie, I think, made. Culver's is overrated. I've never had it. I've heard of it. Missed the 90s, says Shaw, love the Jerky Boys. Word to the BB Bird. I didn't get notifications. Odd. Logano sneaks in from a 5 minus 50 or above. You're above 15 points now, I think. I think he's like 13 points ahead, actually. The Interstate Battery number 18 was dope. I hated the white zebra looking one though. Yeah, they started ruining it after a while. Like they had the best version of all time, and then they deviated from it, and they sort of started getting weird with it. It needs to be a red number because they did one with a white number before too. They need the red number. You got to have a little bit of black trim in it, and then you can do whatever you want to as long as most of the rest of the car is green. Quaker State Oil was the best looking car. Quaker State was good. I don't know. There's so many you can throw out there. Like the Bobby Allison all gold Miller Lite car. That was an iconic scheme. I mean, there's just so many. STP and Richard Petty. I mean, he's probably got 3 of the top spots with just STP cars. Like, I don't know. Dale Earnhardt Sr., the iconic Goodwrench number 3. There's so many good looking ones out there. I think White Castle and the some of the Smoking Joe's cars, those were really good. Old Jimmy Spencer, number 23. I think White Castle and Crystal are the same actually. Haven't ate Crystal in over 20 years. T-Van, that's why you're still alive, brother. Is there any more? Noah Gregson losing his ride seems way too shady. He had lost the ride well before any of that came out. He had lost the ride already. They had already decided to go with John Hunter Nemechek. Clockwise would put the driver's side next to the wall. Not too good. Oh yeah, that's true too. I hadn't even thought about that part of it. E. Damon, they had the first three-way manual. We call to a person in dominoes and let them fight it out as to who called who and repeat the same people. Says E. Damon. Always like Mark Martin Valvoline. Yeah, Mark Martin Valvoline. He's had a bunch of good ones there. Miller Genuine Draft was an awesome paint scheme. Carl's Jr. In and Out or Whataburger. He says OJ and toothpaste. I think I'm going to go with the crappiest pizza. I think we've got enough votes here. 26 votes, close enough. Over halfway. Kyle Petty Mellow Yellow Car wins in this one. Second was Gravedigger at 31%. 12% for Byron and the City Chevy, and 15% for Rusty Wallace and the black and gold MGD car. All right. Massive racing question that we must know. Worst pizza. Nobody out pizzas the Hut. Let's see. Let's go with Domino's. They sponsored Michael Waltrip. Let's just go regular chains. Pizza Hut. Papa John's. Papa John's is good though, so I don't know. Maybe that's just me that thinks that. Or who's probably going to win this? Little Caesars. Papa John's is too good. I can't put them in this category. I must take them out. It's journalistic integrity. I'm going to put in Red Baron. Although I like them as far as a regular pizza. Basically a cardboard crust as well, but you can put whatever you want to on top of it. So there you go. Little Caesars, Red Baron, Pizza Hut, Domino's. Worst pizza. Who has the worst pizza? If, of course, Domino's, Pizza Hut, Red Baron, or Little Caesars want to sponsor the show, you probably don't appreciate this question, but I don't care. Anyway, let's see. Mark Valvoline was nice. Cowgirls block a field goal and run it for a touchdown, says Mark Barnum. That kind of doesn't help me for fantasy. I needed to be an interception and a run back because now they're going to give that quarterback more reps to beat my fantasy team. Need to keep him off the field, Cowboys. Need the defense to keep that guy off the field. Daniel Jones, I like you, but don't score too many fantasy points today. Murphy, appreciate you getting them supper. Mark Martin fan for life. Did Papa Murphy appreciate you were getting supper. The Dale Earnhardt Hershey's paint scheme was a huge flop. Mark Martin fan for life, laughing at Shy. Yay, thanks for doing my poll question, says OJ and Toothpaste. No problem, man. We're going to try to get to some of these other ones as well. Mellow Yellow, nice paint scheme, lame drink. Yeah, Mellow Yellow had the best marketing of all time. Unfortunately, they didn't have anything for the smoke that is Mountain Dew. Shaw says do the do. As a Byron fan, I like the City Chevy, but Gordon throwback. That Logano wrecked was my favorite throwback, and the White Flames of Independence was my overall favorite. Yeah, that's true, but I didn't want to do even though he's only a 4-time champion, I didn't want to do Jeff Gordon because you get a big enough driver, it doesn't matter what the paint scheme looks like. Sometimes you'll just vote for the driver. Like if I throw Richard Petty in there, Richard Petty gets a good bump because he's Richard Petty. Same thing with Senior, Jimmy Johnson, whoever. 7-Eleven's pizza is pretty good. Says dislike 7-Eleven. That's the original OG late night store. Next poll, best racing movies. I would need more than 4 options. We'll have to do a vote off on that one. We'll have to do a Final Four bracket or something, a playoff bracket. Worst pizza is Pizza Inn, and anchovies is the worst topping, says Jamie Schweitzer. I don't know. Some people feel some kind of way about pineapple for whatever reason. I think it just became trendy to hate on pineapple, but I don't know. I'll throw that question up next, the pineapple on the pizza. Dale Jr., Mountain Dew schemes were cool, says Shaw. They were cool, but Chase Elliott, in my opinion, had him outdone. And the best Mountain Dew scheme of all time was Darrell Waltrip. Pizza Hut is garbage, LOL. I used to work there in high school. It's all frozen. Yep. But if you have the option of Pizza Hut or Little Caesars, how long would you go on fast? Like, if that was your only two options, how long could you fast before you had to eat one of them? That's the real question. Texas seems out of place in the playoffs, says Chris MV. Yeah, like not a lot of people like the Texas race, but how did they get a playoff race? It's kind of crazy. Jamie Schweitzer, what about anchovies and pineapple? There you go. Boom. That's the best pizza. I like my pizza. Says Jenna Allison. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody likes pizza. We're critiquing who of the main chains make the worst pizza. NHRA used to be sponsored by Mellow Yellow. Yeah, for sure. Mellow Yellow put a lot of money in the NHRA. They ran hot there for about close to 10 years, I want to say. Did you cry or get mad, BB, when the last caution came out and Denny didn't win? I was in shambles. I hated it. I tell you what I got mad about, though, like when he threw the block on Larson and Larson didn't wreck him. Like, Larson's got to stick up for himself out there, or he's going to keep getting run over by the 11. Larson has to do something about the 11 running all over him and throwing blocks and doing crap like that. I mean, even Denny Hamlin, like, laid all the way back. More concerned about Kyle Larson than getting a good restart. Something's going on between those two, and Kyle Larson needs to put Jeff Gordon is still 7-time in my world. Earth 2, LOL. He's 7-time by the old Winston Cup standings. I think I've seen that before. The Winston standings looks interesting with 8 races to go. Too bad Hypocrite Hamlin is within striking distance. Be one of my least favorite movies of all time. If you like Talladega Nights, that's fine. You want to like, but I hate that movie. Shy, you're correct, says Jamie Schweitzer. Best racing movie, the original Cannonball Run. You tell them, Jenna. You tell them. That's definitely a good one. What's your favorite road course on the schedule? It'd have to be either Watkins Glen or Sonoma. So flip a coin there. Just because they're the OGs. When does the contract end with Texas? I don't know. DW 88 Gatorade or DW's Tide Machine is your favorite DW car? Maybe the Tide Machine, because my dad's friend worked at Hendrick at that time, and he got me a poster of that one, and it just said the machine over top of it, and it was Darrell Waltrip and all the crew. And they had a point down picture of the car, and it said the machine. It was a really cool poster back in the day. I'll try to find a picture of it on my phone and put it up in one of the posts if I think about it. Casey's Taco Pizza. You remember the Mexican pizzas I think we got them in high school, but you could get them in the lunch line. They had the Mexican pizza. It was the same pizza crust, but they just put like taco toppings on top of it. I hope and cheddar cheese instead of mozzarella. I hope someone could hear what Gordon was saying to Larson after his interview. We'll straighten Elliott out, says Brian Kidder. Yeah, without a doubt. I think once he sees the replay, he'll be like, "Oh, he really didn't have an option. That's why he hit me." Ham and pineapple is I wish he had hit. I wish he had hit Denny Hamlin though, because once again Hamlin used him up and sort of punked him down. Ham and pineapple. Hamlin and pineapple is a Hawaiian pizza invented by a Canadian. That just kills me. Says Sha. Hey, there's nothing wrong with Canadian bacon and a little pineapple, Sha. Like let's take it easy. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's going to be the next question. I agree with you, BB Larson needs to stand up for himself. Yeah, he doesn't need to necessarily wreck him, but he needs to pinch him into the wall and just let him know that, hey, that's enough of that crap. Like, you want to race, we'll race. But if you want to, put people in bad positions, well, I'll start putting you in bad positions. Burt Reynolds ruled. Burt Reynolds was the man. My favorite race car driver of all time, and he never raced a single race. Redline 7000. Stroke Race is the best NASCAR movie, in my opinion, says Brian. I agree with you, Mr. Brian. Poutine, which is amazing. Let's see, fries, gravy, melted cheese curds. So there you go. That is a Canadian late night delicacy. After you've made the rounds with your pints and whatnot. Oh my God, I need to make supper. Says Shaw. I like anchovies on pizza. Says in between the lanes. If the race today didn't have overtime, I ended on the scheduled distance. We would have had a 3-wide finish, says Chrome Diesel. It was starting to wind up like that. I'm with you. I think it was lining up for that. Stroke Race is the best NASCAR theme movie, and Cannonball Run was the best racing theme movie. I don't agree with that. Like they're definitely in the running. Stop it, Shy. You're making me hungry. Born in London, now live in Wyoming, says Mark Martin fan for life. Sorry, I'm not sorry. I cannot stand Jeff Gordon. And my KB, I idolized him when he was a kid. Says Jenna Allison. Yeah, there's a lot of people that still can't stand Jeff Gordon. Most of them former Earnhardt fans. Need for Speed was a cool movie. I haven't seen it yet. I need to watch that one. RCR needs to steal Larson. Oh my God. Could you imagine Kyle Larson? First off, that would be the ultimate racing team of all time. You would have Kyle and Kyle in the 3 and the 8, and or 31 and the 8, and Austin Dillon in the 3. But you would have 2 Kyles on a race team, and that is all you need. Minimum 10 championships. Minimum 10 championships. 9 of them would be in a row. Let's see. You guys racing this weekend? We might race this weekend. It's going to be up to whether or not somebody can get their car together. Rest in peace, Team Truex. It was one heck of a season, says Glenn Pillar. Truex still has a fighting chance. As long as he doesn't run into more bad luck at Bristol, he's got a fighting chance of getting back in the playoffs. Let's not write him off just yet. Hendrick Motorsports, heard is going to Toyota in 2025. Yep, right after 2311 goes to Ford. So many classic race movies, says Shaw. I hate sweet things on pizza, but I don't like sweet meat, glazed ham, but I love those anchovies on there. Glenn Pillar Facts says Jamie Schweitzer, Kyle and Kyle. Hell to the yes, says Jenna Allison. So no dessert pizza for Robin Marks. Yes. What about the cookie pizza? The cookie pizzas, the chocolate chip cookie pizza is where it's at, man. Smokey and the Bandit is the best racing movie in my opinion. I mean, they're definitely up there. Do you like Mexican pizza from Taco Bell? I used to. I don't think they even have it anymore. Brought out the Crunch Wrap. The Crunch Wrap was better than the Mexican pizza, so I had to go Crunch Wrap there. So 33%. Little Caesars has taken it here with 27 votes. So we're going to end the poll there. Let me know what the worst topping for a pizza is. These are the NASCAR questions people want to know, really. Worst pizza topping. This is a full-on Earth 2 chat today. Let's see. Pineapple. Definitely on there. Anchovies. How y'all feel about olives? What's another name? Olives has got to be up there. I'll say I see anchovies here, pineapple. I know a lot of people hate olives, so I'm going to put olives on there. Onions. I feel like onions are pretty, a lot of people are polarized about onions. So I'm going to go with that one. Right there, that's a nasty pizza if you put all that together. So we're going to start the poll right now. Worst pizza topping: pineapple, anchovies, olives, or onions. There you go. If you have all of that going on a pizza, you've made a Ninja Turtles commercial or something. I don't know. Let's see. Six pack was pretty darn good, says Brian. Crunch Wrap is way better though, says Jenna Allison. Yeah, the Mexican pizza is good. Crunch Wrap definitely. I feel like the Crunch Wrap took the Mexican pizza crowd from Taco Bell. Taco Bell rules, says Jenna Allison. Let's see. Why is 2311 going to Ford? They had a great performance today. What's the point of switching, man? It's just a joke, NASCAR Collector. We're just joking around. Because he said Hendrick is going to Toyota. So I said, yeah, right after 2311 goes to Ford. Do you like the Mexican pizza from Taco Bell? I read that one. So no Ford logo being shaved on BB's head. BB? Yep. I told you that wasn't going to happen. Like, there was no way 2311 is going to Ford. Like, just not ever going to happen. Crunch Wrap is way better, though. Six pack is pretty darn good. I always get Baja Blast when I go to Taco Bell. Yeah, so I got a bunch of buddies. That's the whole reason they go to Taco Bell. It's just to get the Baja Blast. Anchovies, pineapple, of course. Byron's tire changer briefly caught fire. Those guys are badasses. Yeah, so a lot of people on pit road were having some issues today. They showed several clips of how tough the guys going over the wall are. So that's always cool. Black olives and onions. Wise Guy and Barnum chiming in there. So at least I did get those on the poll. Right now, 57% going anchovies. Pineapple only 7%. Olives actually taking the lead over pineapple. So don't believe the hype that they tell you in the mainstream media about pineapple doesn't belong on pizza, because right now anchovies and olives are way in front of pineapple. 6% for onions. Let's see here with only 4 districts reporting and 17 votes. Let's see if we can get this to 40 votes before we tap out here. Best topping, barbecue chicken with red onion. Hey, there you go. A lot of people like the barbecue pizza, as long as the barbecue sauce isn't too sweet. Do you think Larson can win the Indy 500 in his first start? Do I think he can? Yes. Do I think it's probable? It is not probable. Do you listen to Stacking Pennies? When I get a chance, I do listen to old Corey LaJoy. He's got a great show over there. Fruit and pizza are just so weird, but it's so tasty. Sourdough crust, fruit salad, and icing, says Shy. Yeah, I've had that before too. Pizza Inn back in the day. The dessert pizzas definitely had it going on. I made my own crunch wrap, and it didn't taste like Taco Bell. Apparently, I didn't use MSG, says Jenna Allison. So yeah, there's Ethan Chabowski or something like that. Check him out on YouTube. He shows you how to make basically fast food, but how to make it good without all the stuff that they put in it in fast food. And usually they taste like a lot better. I've tried a couple of his recipes, and they're really good. Olives, mushrooms are nasty. I should have put mushrooms on there. Anchovies are considered nasty by people who have never had them on pizza. Used to think it was gross until I worked at a pizza shop, says Say Kyle. I've had anchovies before. They don't bother me. It just tastes like really salty. It tastes like a Vienna sausage. It just tastes like a really salty meat. OJ and Toothpaste going anchovies. A dog wouldn't even eat that pizza, says Mark Barnum. Yeah, so if you had all of that right there on a pizza, that would be, it would either be the grossest pizza ever, or it would be like a Reuben. I don't like a single thing on a Reuben sandwich, but when you put all the things on a Reuben sandwich together, I do like a good Reuben because they all counterbalance each other and makes it better. Baja Blast made me laugh, says Jen Allison. Taco John's is greater than Taco Bell, says Chrome Diesel. What about Red Burrito? Let's throw them all in there. All the regular stuff on there. Or Del Taco. That's another one you can throw in there. What is with the tire changers starting fires? What is messed up? What is wrong? I don't know. They need to take a look at it though. Pineapple pizza is pretty good, says OJ and Toothpaste. I don't have a problem with it either. Actually, all the stuff right there, I do eat on pizza. Maybe not at the same time, but I have eaten all that stuff on a pizza, and it doesn't bother me. Olives are the bomb and very good for you. I like olives myself. Did Rajah find a ride yet? I don't think he's found one just yet. So we'll have to see where he's going for next season. I hate toe links being the Achilles heel of the Gen 7 car, says Chrome Diesel. Me too. Hopefully they figure something out about that. They don't have to make them super strong. They just got to make them stronger than they are now. Buffalo chicken pizza is good. I agree with you in between the lanes. That's one of my favorite specialty pizzas. Charlotte is considering erecting statues of NASCAR legends in Uptown Charlotte. That'll be pretty cool. When you walk down Boston, you see a bunch of old, they got a Bill Russell and they got some other ones too. But Boston, when I went down to Boston, I saw a bunch of sports statues as well. Thank you regarding fast food. That's good for you, says Jen Allison. Hey, no problem. Smoked salmon pizza. I wonder. I don't know. I don't think I've quite had that one yet. What's your favorite Mountain Dew flavor? I like Code Red. Code Red was probably my favorite because not only do you get all the bad stuff from Mountain Dew, but they put the red dye in it too. So Code Red, that's where it's at. I never realized the toe link was so dainty. Why not make them thicker? Says Jenna Allison. I don't know. Do you like vegan pizza? LOL. Believe it or not, OJ and Toothpaste, vegan pizza, you cannot really tell a difference. So if you get the, you can even do it with a cauliflower crust. It wouldn't bother me. You can do the cauliflower crust, put the vegan sauce on there, and then they've got mozzarella soy cheese. The mozzarella soy cheese, you really can't tell a difference between that and regular mozzarella. I promise you, if you had like a cheese pizza that was vegan and nobody told you about it, you really wouldn't be able to tell the difference in it. I never realized Toe Link was so dainty. I just read that one. There's only one Mountain Dew. OJ and Toothpaste, says Shaw. I'll tell you the nastiest Mountain Dew of all time was the one they put the jalapeno sauce in, or the jalapeno, the flaming Mountain Dew, or whatever it was called. Like, that was so bad you could literally taste the cancer in that drink. It was probably the nastiest Mountain Dew I have ever tasted. I can usually get through anything. I took about 3 sips of that, and I was laughing about it. It was so bad. And I poured it out the window because it was pretty much the nastiest thing I think I've ever tasted. Whoever came up with that flavor is a complete moron, or they were just doing it for the hype of having the worst drink on the internet. One or the other. Try the Philly cheesesteak pizza from Domino's. So Domino's, even though their pizza is not like the bomb anymore, not that it was necessarily ever the bomb, but if you try the Domino's sandwiches, they're actually they're not bad. Try they've got the buffalo chicken sandwich too. That's really good. Worst pizza is vegan pizza for me, says Jamie Schweitzer. I'm not saying go eat vegan pizza. I'm just saying the vegan pizza, it's not as bad as other vegan options. Let's put it that way. I love cheese pizza just with spinach and feta and olives, of course. So yeah, I've had that one. That's pretty good. I would drop the feta off of that one just for me personally, but yeah, the spinach and the olives for sure. California Pizza, another chain restaurant that's not too bad. They got a lot of pizzas like that. It seems to me when you go to 7-Eleven, they sell special flavors of soda that you can't get in stores. Code Red, for example, says in between the lanes for sure. Spicy Mountain Dew sounds awful, says Shot. It's pretty much the worst thing I've ever tasted. Cows and vegan, so everyone eats beef is a vegan, says Mark Barnum. Remember Jolt Cola? Yeah, baby. Yeah, that was caffeine cola. Jolt Cola, like Jolt was around or before Surge, but I don't think it was considered an energy drink. So I think Surge is still technically the first energy drink, but Jolt Cola, without a doubt, was the first drink that had, or the first soda that had maximum caffeine on purpose. I had that Spicy Mountain Dew from 7-Eleven. Says in between lanes. Yeah, it was. Let them know in between lanes. It was, to me, it was freaking nasty. You might have liked it. I don't know. Pepsi and milk sucks. Thanks, Laverne DeFazio. The Pepsi Nitro is tasty. I had that. That wasn't bad. And I had the original recipe, like 1892 or whatever that Pepsi was. That wasn't too bad either. Do you guys have Mountain Mike's Pizza? I don't think I've ever seen a Mountain Mike's around here. I don't think I've even heard of it. I'm trying to think. We got, like, around here, what we got that's really popular is one called Mellow Mushroom. It's got sort of like a hippie vibe to it. I don't know exactly how far it goes down. I think it goes from Georgia all the way up to at least North Carolina. But Mellow Mushroom is like the one around here that everybody's like, oh, that pizza's so good, because they use like all like actual real ingredients and stuff like that. Wasn't bad if you ask me. Says in between lanes. So in between the lanes liked it. I thought it was terrible. So there you go. It has a spot. It just wasn't for me. It tasted like to me. It tasted like rose water and hot sauce. Shah says he Mountain Mike's is good. Mountain Mike's is West Coast, I think. Shah, I like your eat beef take. I concur. Says Jamie Schweitzer, talking about if you eat cows, you're vegan, because all cows are vegans. I like Paul Newman's organic pizza. Paul Newman, all their stuff's good. Paul Newman salad dressings are pretty much the only salad dressing I use if I've got the option. If they take away my meat, I will be forced to eat people. It's people, says Shop. Yeah, I'm definitely not making a push to go vegan. Just, I mean, let's get real. Let's not get ahead of the game here. DiGiorno is good frozen pizza as well as bruschetta. Yeah, for sure, no doubt about that. Popeyes or Church's Chicken? OJ and toothpaste. That's a good question. I'm not a huge fan of Church's Chicken. I know some people like it when you bite into it and the grease runs out. Like, if you're a fan of that, Church's Chicken is for you. But to me, Popeye's chicken tastes better because I like that Cajun seasoning, that Cajun flavor. So to me, I like things a little more spicy. I like Popeye's over Church's Chicken. But both of them have a very dedicated fan base. So these are like fighting words. Like, you're either Popeyes or your Church's Chicken. I'm not necessarily on that level. But of those two options, I would go Popeyes for sure. Soylent Green, says Shah. That was a movie, I think, or in a movie. I can't remember. Was that Michael Clayton? Was he worried about Soylent Green? I need to look that one up. I'm just happy Hamlin didn't win. George Clooney and Michael Clayton or whatever. I'm just happy Hamlin didn't win. Although as the owner, he did win. I'm happy Hamlin didn't win too, says Jenna. So a lot of non-Hamlin fans, we can say that. Paul Newman is Ryan Newman's dad. Says OJ and Toothpaste. He is not Ryan Newman's dad, as far as we know. Hamlin loses, says Shaw. Cowboys defense scored again. Hopefully it was an interception this time. I'm happy with Michael Jordan. Team owner won, says Jenna Allison. So, yeah, a lot of Michael Jordan fans for sure. Chester's Chicken. I'm sure there's a lot of Tyler Reddick fans too. Chester's Chicken for me. We had a Chester's Chicken for like 2 days and they shut down. Like, something happened. Paul Newman ruled. He raced. He did charity. And Slapshot is one of my favorite movies. Also, if you want to see something cool, look up Paul Newman's Volvo wagon. Look up Paul Newman Volvo wagon. He made a grocery getter, and check out the specs on that 1980 something. For 1980 something, that thing hauled. That thing ripped. Chick-fil-A or Popeyes? Oh, that's a good question. To me, that's a tie, OJ and Toothpaste, but I'll go Bojangles over both of them. So if you're asking the question of where the best fast food chicken to get a chicken sandwich is, Bojangles all day. Let's see. It was a movie with Charlton Heston. Says shot. So I haven't seen that one. I'm thinking of another movie with George Clooney as Michael Clayton. He was fighting something like that. He was fighting like a green organization that wasn't really green or something. It's a long movie, but it was actually pretty good. And they found out he's trying to investigate him, and they blow up his car and all kinds of crazy stuff. So basically, like real life, if you try to go against the corporation, in my opinion. The real question: who wins the next Daytona 500? I say Kyle Busch. I don't think he ever won the Daytona 500 so far. He does not have one so far. Is LeBron better than Jordan? Says OJ and Toothpaste. please, let's not ask silly questions. Jordan is by far better than LeBron. This is not First Take where we pretend like LeBron is even on Jordan's level just to get ratings. LeBron is nowhere near Jordan. Charlton Heston, yes, says Jenna Allison. We got Raising Cane's chicken restaurant, says one wise guy. We got a Raising Cane's somewhere around here. I've seen it before. What is a LeBron and what is a Jordan, says Shaw. One is a successful team owner. The other one is a very small percentage holder in RFK. What happened to the Chuck Bush on Stacking Pennies and Jonathan Merriman? I don't know what happened to Jonathan Merriman. I haven't seen him. He used to be NASCAR Digital. I don't know what he's doing now. I haven't seen him recently at all. Jordan better than LeBron, says Jenna Allison. Soylent Green is a very old classic movie. I'll have to check it out. I've heard the name before, and every time I see the name, I always confuse it with the movie Michael Clayton. So I'll have to look him up and see what the confusion is. Denny Hamlin to the Hornets says in between the lanes. He sits courtside, like where Denny Hamlin sits for the Hornets games. Like he literally could like walk onto the court. He's literally like right behind the bench. So he's basically on the team as it stands. And my seat compared to where Denny Hamlin's seat is, if you went and touched the moon with your finger and took 2 rows down, that's where my seat was at the Hornets games when I had season tickets. Let's see. Beautiful stadium, by the way. If you get a chance to visit Charlotte and watch a Hornets game, beautiful stadium. They did a great job with it when Jordan bought it and basically renovated the interior of it. Did a great job with it there. I know that's a side tangent, but whatever. Should Skip Bayless join the booth next year for the Fox Cup races? I tell you what, he'd get ratings. I'll give him that. I don't like the guy, but he knows how to work the room. Let's see. Jordan is the GOAT, or maybe tied with Larry Bird. I mean, Bill Russell's the GOAT. Like, too many people look at statistics. The goal of a basketball team is to win the championship. And the guy that understood that concept better than anybody to this day is Bill Russell. Bill Russell didn't worry about his stats. Bill Russell worried about winning championships. And because of that, Bill Russell has more championships than fingers. May he rest in peace. So Bill Russell is the best basketball player of all time, because any athlete will tell you the game is right here in between your ears. That's where the game happens. And nobody understood the game of basketball better than Bill Russell. So Bill Russell is the greatest of all time. End of conversation. We're arguing for second place here. So there we go. I know this is NASCAR content, and you guys don't want to get into that. Let's see. Bird is pretty damn phenomenal too, says Shaw. Soylent Green is great. If you haven't seen it, don't research it. You'll ruin it by getting the spoiler at the end. Denny Hamlin should be the point guard for the Hornets. Larry Bird is pretty fly for a white guy, says Shaw. Later, everybody. Have a good weekend. Martin Trix Jr. rebounds next week. Do you like the Cowboys? I'm a 49ers fan, so I'm not a Cowboys fan. I remember Cup drivers used to participate in the Pro-Am golf tournament at our Rockborn Pro-Am Classic. Why not anymore? I don't know. They do plenty of golfing, so you would think some of these celebrity tournaments they would feature some NASCAR drivers, but I don't know why they haven't jumped into them here recently. That is a good question. Poll question says, worst pizza topping, 62%. Anchovies, pineapple, 17%. Olives, 17%. Pineapple has made a comeback on olives. Tied right now, 17-17. Onions is at 4%. Jenna Allison laughing about the Cowboys. I got the Jets defeating the Bills, BB. Oh, man. That's going to be a tough game, though. The Jets actually finally have a quarterback. They have every other weapon for the Jets last year. Other than a quarterback and a decent offensive line. So we'll see what they'll do this year. BB, should LeBron James start a NASCAR team? Jordan Russell, he's part of RFK, OJ and Toothpaste. So technically, RFK is Team LeBron. And LeBron, actually, his sponsor was on a car. It was a green and yellow. It sort of looked like a Seattle Supersonics car. Green and gold are the high school colors that he played with. So his car was green and gold for the LeBron Foundation, and then of course you got Jordan over there with his two cars at 2311. So you do have it already, and don't forget Brad Daugherty. Let's not leave Brad Daugherty out. Also, former basketball player, with owner of JTG Daugherty Racing, and funny enough, Hot Rod Williams, who also played for the Cleveland Cavaliers, he owned a drag racing team, and that's who got Brad Daugherty interested in owning a race car team. So Hot Rod Williams, who owned a NHRA team, is the guy that got Brad Daugherty into NASCAR, or at least thinking about owning a race team. So for whatever reason, the NBA, I guess because their seasons sort of end and start at the same time, like as the NASCAR season's ending, the NBA season or whatever is just getting started up. I guess because they end like that, there seems to be a lot of overlap over basketball and NASCAR, at least, or racing in general. Never easy being a Jets fan. Says in between. I feel you, man. There's no doubt about that. Do you like wine or beer? Says OG and toothpaste. I used to like anything cold, wet, and alcoholic back in the day. But if I have a choice, I guess it depends on what I'm eating. There's certain wines that go really good with foods. But as a general rule of thumb, if I'm just drinking, I would drink either a rum and Coke or a cold beer. Thanks for another great show, BB. Don't forget to make your prediction video. I made it. I'm just going to take the clip from the previous episode earlier, and I'll put maybe some graphics or something over top of it. BB fan for life, says Jenna Allison. I appreciate you, Jenna Allison. Okay, NASCAR question. If Martin Truex Jr. doesn't make it through, isn't he the first regular season champ to go out? I think you're right. I can't think of another regular season champ. I know Kevin Harvick went out early, but he didn't go out in the first round. So I think you're right. I think Martin Truex Jr. would be the first one. He would be the Dallas Mavericks. Taking it back to basketball. He would be the Dallas Mavericks, though, because the Dallas Mavericks were a number one seed, and they just recently got taken out in one of the last NBA playoffs. Wine, says Jenna Allison. Jenna Allison is a wine girl. Do you like the movie Space Jam? And did you see the new Barbie movie? I haven't seen the new Barbie movie. I did like the original Space Jam. I haven't seen the LeBron Space Jam. So, yeah. I did like Uncle Drew. Kyrie Irving before he went crazy. I did like the Uncle Drew movie. That was pretty funny. Christopher Busher had the LeBron James Family Foundation Ford Mustang. So, yeah, there you go. That's what it was. Christopher Busher in the number 17, the green and the gold. That was I like that car, actually. I'm a Supersonics fan, so a little bit of bias there. So what was with the tires today all season? I think they just got aggressive because it was the playoffs shop. That seems to be the consensus from everybody that was there. Or it might be the line that NASCAR is telling them to say or whatever. But I think they just got super aggressive because it's the playoffs, and, getting a solid top 10 doesn't matter to a lot of guys out there because they're right there on the cut line. Let's see. Never easy being a Rowdy fan, says Jenna. That's for sure. It's easier this year than it has been in the past. But before this, you definitely caught a lot of flack. How the hell does MTG get a puncture, or Martin Truex Jr. get a puncture on the first lap? He ran over something, Shaw. So I don't know if you guys saw this on Twitter. I guess I'll include it in the episode when I make it. But his, hold on, I'll tell you what. Let me, I did put it on my Twitter. So I'll actually show you guys the picture because his crew chief tweeted it out. Yeah, James Small. That's his tire right there. And you see where he's got that circled? That's what Martin Truex Jr. ran over. So it wasn't a tire pressure on Martin Truex Jr. It actually was something that he ran over right there. You see the piece of debris sticking in it right there. So I don't know what he ran over, but that's what Martin Jr. ran over. It wasn't him getting aggressive with the tire pressures or anything like that. He actually ran over something. Let's see. Supersonics. Oh, yeah. Remember that song by the presidents of the United States? I do remember the presidents of the United States. They were famous for peaches, without a doubt. Fun fact about the Supersonics, Mookie Blaylock, when he played for them, Pearl Jam was originally called Mookie Blaylock because they had a Mookie Blaylock trading card, but then they changed it because obviously they would have got sued by Mookie Blaylock if the band's name was Mookie Blaylock. So they changed their name to Pearl Jam. So there's your Seattle Supersonics, Seattle music scene trivia for the day. Dion had 2 good years in Colorado. He will end up Dallas coach, says Mark Barnum. Or just gets his sons. I think he just wants to get his sons through Colorado. Then he takes the Dallas coaching job. Christopher Busher to the Cowboys. in between the lanes from Prosper, Texas, a town of less than, what, 10,000 or something? Oh, yeah, Xfinity race. Where did the tire carcass come from? That's a good question. That's a good question, but Cole Custer found it. I don't know where it came from, but I can tell you who found it. Bad luck for Cole Custer once again. Yes, BB, you know your stuff, says Jenna Allison. Hey, there you go. Somebody else knew that random fact. What happened to Austin Dillon? He was running up front, and then he was -7. He got loose coming out of either 4 or 2 and lost it and hit the wall. 30,000 in Prosper, Texas, says in between the lanes. Why does he act like that's a small town? I guess because there was more than 30,000 people in the crowd. But yeah, like 30,000 is not remotely a small town. I've seen much smaller towns than that. Let's see. I saw no car go in without a. I saw no car go in without a tire. So weird. Says Shaw. Oh yeah, I don't know where that tire carcass came from. I didn't get to see the Xfinity race. I've only seen the highlight of it. But yeah, I don't know. Not 100% where that tire carcass came from. Let's see. Poll question is still up. 28 votes and 61% for anchovies. So anchovies is going to take it, it looks like. And I think we got to the end of the questions, so I'm going to jump off of this one. It was fun, as always. Sorry I got sidetracked on food and basketball and whatever else. But I'll get the episode up tonight. Y'all have a good one and take it easy, and peace.